Come friend, now lend me an ear, for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices. 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for reading and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hey everybody, my name's Victor Rivera, and this is D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself. Hello, and welcome to the 10th episode of D&Me. That means I've been playing for 10 weeks, which is kind of bonkers, because when I started this project, I didn't think that I would last 10 episodes. It wasn't like a defeatist thing, I just didn't see the longevity, and now I am, and it's exciting. So welcome. Wasn't that a fantastic new theme song? Thank you. The wonderful musician who made us that is Bradley Owens, who is my best friend from elementary school. So thank you, Bradley. You can find Bradley at Bradley Owens. That is his social medias. So it's Bread and then Lee as in Ley and Ovens instead of Bradley Owens. And they have a band called the Blam Blams, and you can find them at the Blam Blams on social medias and stuff, and they have a link tree and stuff. So thank you, Bradley, for this fabulous new theme song. I love it. I will play it at the end again because it's worth a repeating. It's very good. And also, my voice is weird. I don't know what's happening. But part of the lyrics of the new opening is that weeks ago I made a font based off of my handwriting with a website, which I forgot what it was, and I'll plug it in later. But I have a font that's my handwriting, so a lot of these branding posts and stuff that I make, it's like my handwriting. So yeah, it's neat. No one caught that so far, or if they did, they haven't said anything. So I made my own font. And welcome to episode 10. I wanted to place with some numbers right here at the beginning. 10 episodes. How many times have I played games of these characters? Because with D&Me, I've played with them and with myself for 10 times. I wanted to go back through my notes and see. So for Tipsy, I played 6 games. It was December 22nd, 2015 to November 8th, 2016. So that's 322 days, or 10 months and 17 days. And 6 games, and he leveled up to level 6. Onyx, 8 games, July 18th, 2016 through December 5th, 2016. So that's 140 days, or 4 months and 17 days, another 17 days. And he's level 4. There we go. That's my thumb. Rock, only 3 games I played with my half-orc wizard. March 5th, 2018 to March 29th, 2018. 24 days, and he is level 3. And then Tutu Twins as the victor with 20 games. May 5th, 2020 to April 29th, 2021. So 6 days shy of a year. And he's level 3 also. So just, 6 games. Level 6, 8 games, level 3, Rock, 3 games, level 3, and then Toot Toot, level 3, 20 games. So, We're halfway there with Toot Toot, but the other ones I've played more for D&D, more games. I don't know about hours. I didn't factor that in, but more games here in D&Me with 3 out of my 4 characters. And I thought that was amazing, and I wanted to share that with you, share it with my D&We community. And why did I say community? Because last week I issued a challenge for all of my fabulous followers to unlock a Twitch achievement called Build a Community. And I didn't know the specifics, but I knew I needed to get 5 people chatting at the same time in the chat. And we did it! Yes, not only did we do 5, we ended up with 7. I don't know how or what game mechanics or numerical values or whatever, time limits. So thank you, my D&We community. We did it. So now I can make followers VIP badges or something. I don't know. I still need to do my research. DN research. So that's all exciting. And then one little thing before my DN recap here for the DN pre-show is last week, for the last episode, I have one D&M revision where we deposited 2 goblins and the half-orc apprentice wizard in the lavatory in the water closet gray ooze. And my mom pointed out that I didn't do anything with the human bandit body. So to correct that, he went in also. He took a dip. So and I'll explain all this in the Dean recap here in a second. But when they were putting in the goblin bodies, and then after they put in Grumshar, which was the half-orc apprentice wizard, then they also dragged the human bandit in there. And then before he took the gray ooze bath, then Ban, the bandaged bandit, took a mysterious key out of his pocket, and then he turned around so that he wouldn't see it, and then the splash. So there we go, a D&M revision. Also, I forgot to show y'all, I'm wearing a tie tonight because I wanted to celebrate 10 episodes, and also today, October 6th, 2021, and it happens to be my 6th year anniversary here in Atlanta. So I am wearing a tie. My podcast people can't see it, but I made this for my Zombieland Double Tap premieres, and that is not real blood. So, isn't that great? So I'm wearing a tie for y'all, and I showered. So, and then I'm putting it together with my zombie. Is it the wrong? Is that what's going on? No. Nope. Everything's good. And to the middle, and I'm putting it all together with my zombie tie clip that I also got from Zombieland. Well, for Zombieland, not from Zombieland. They didn't send me no tie clip. There we go. So, Victor, what did you do in the first 10 episodes of D&Me? Thank you for asking. My 4 fabulous characters from campaigns past, Tipsy, the Forest Gnome Rogue, Onyx, the Dwarf Barbarian, Rock, the Half-Orc Wizard, and Toot Toot, the Loxodon Bard, found themselves one night appearing in a magical ball of fire in the snowy streets of Waterdeep. And they went inside the Yawning Portal, which is the infamous tavern there, and they met each other, and Durnan the barkeeper, and Yagra Stonefist, and a bunch of colorful characters. But they also met Volo Thamgedarm, an explorer extraordinaire. And he gave them a quest to find his friend Floon, Floon Blagmar, who was abducted a couple nights ago, and he hasn't seen him since. So then after a short night's rest, then they went and got some warm clothing over at the Crimson Convex, which is my Redbubble store that you can find at Linktree/DnMeAdventures. So Linktree, a period, is right after the R, right in front of the T's. Nope. Right after the R, in front of the E's, and then DnMeAdventures. But they went and got some warmer winter wear, and then went south to follow some clues. So they went to the Zoblob's odd Zoblob shop, which was a very sparse miscellaneous store, where they met Ogzlob, who is a dark gnome that was really obsessed with the color purple and therefore our half-orc wizard. And then they went across the way to the Skewered Dragon, which was this horrible dive bar, and it was bartended by IB Propane, a dragonborn, and then they got some more clues from Augo, who was a tiefling sitting in the corner, and they went to a warehouse up in Candle Lane. These are all very specific things. They went to a warehouse where they battled some Kenku, which are some raven folk, and then they got more information that they have to go down into the sewers. But before they did that, they found Rainier Neverember, who is the son of the former Open Lord of Waterdeep, who's a big honcho, like, mayor guy. And then they went down into the sewers. They fought a Gazer, which is half a beholder, and then they met some were-rats, and then they traveled through the Xanathar Guild lair hideout in the sewers, which was gross and stinky and poopy. And after meeting up with some goblins and a half-orc apprentice wizard and dipping all the evidence into some gray ooze, then they rescued Floon Blagmar, who was being beaten up, who was mistaken as Rainier Neverember, and they made their way through a secret passage in order to get back up to the surface, which happened to be through a halfling home for the Peabodys, and then now they are out once again into the snowy streets of Waterdeep, heading back to the Yawning Portal to meet up with Voloth and Gedarm to get their prize. So, now... yeah, here we go. It is getting dark into the evening. It's like now getting dark, where it gets dark and even colder at like 4, So they stepped out, and again, they stink to high heavens. They are kind of soaked through all the muck, even though it has dried off a little bit because they were inside for most of that hideout adventure. And they are stepping out and get hit with very cold, blustery winds. And they find themselves in Fishgut Alley. They look around and they find out through the Peabodys and Rainier and Floon, who are natives to the area, they find out that they are even more south than where they went into the sewers in Trollcrook Alley. So they are deep in the southern ward, right at the tip of Waterdeep. So they emerge from the halfling home in Fishgut Alley, and then they know that the Yawning Portal is up in the Trades Ward, like 50 blocks north. So they start heading that way. A just wave of exhaustion hits all of them, as does many mile-an-hour wind and flurries and snow. And as they're going up, they kind of just trudge in the fresh snow, and it is getting darker as they keep going. Floon, who was ill-prepared for... well, would he have on... let's just say he has on rags, because he was wearing stuff in the Skewered Dragon before he got abducted, and so did Rainier. So they're all wearing, not newly purchased winter wear, but they can't spend too long out here. So Floon, being rail thin, is shivering, but with the help of a newly fed tummy from the very end of the last episode, then he has new gathered strength and he's going well. But Rainier is helping him out a lot. And they're going up, and then through this you hear Rock, the half-orc wizard, saying, okay, we all stink. I have this ability. Hold on. And he goes up to let's see. He goes up to Tipsy first, who's kind of leading the pack, and he has the gazer that he picked up. He threw the gazer at the end of the last episode, and so he's since picked it back up, and he's kind of leading the pack. Just, because Onyx doesn't have to help. Okay, so Tipsy's leading the pack, kind of just holding the gazer up in front of him as a beacon, and then after leaving the house and maybe 20 feet north, then Onyx comes up and give me that back. And so now Onyx is holding a popped gazer head with the eye stalks and the X's over the eyes, and then a squished intellect devourer, and they are unseemly sights. And Rock goes up to Tipsy first and goes, "You have the less square footage, so I'm going to start with you." And then Rock, as they're all walking, holds out his hands, and then you see like a foot-by-foot square of purple energy in the air, and then it like lies down on to Tipsy, like his shoulder, like a wet temporary tattoo kind of paper. And then you see it, like, as it's positioning, it's taking 6 seconds to like align, but then it like it breathes, and as it moves to the next little section of Tipsy, then that area is cleaner and less visually like crusty and stuff, but it's still mucky. It's still like brown and grays and splotches of green. So what he's doing is he's using prestidigitation, which is a cantrip, and it covers a square foot. Here, let me look at the specifics real quick. Now lend me an ear. Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation is a cantrip. It cleans or soils no larger than 1 square foot of an object. Is that? What's the exact wording? Oh, my chair broke like literally 2 minutes before we started. So Victor is going to be getting a new chair soon. Yay! This one has lasted about 3 years, though, so that's good. And I use it a lot. Prestidigitation. You can instantaneously clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. Yeah, so this sounds just a little funky. Just turn up the gain slightly. Okay, what I imagine magic for D&D is when it gives like the specifics of a cube or a cone or a cylinder, like I imagine like the perfect 6-faced cube. For example, Cloud of Daggers. When someone casts it, I imagine that in my head, one of the daggers is like going up the inside of the edges and like spinning, but like it's a perfect cube, very much like a gelatinous cube. So that's what I like to imagine, like perfect geometry, like a cone and then like a cylinder. So I'm taking the cubic foot very literally, so it's like just squares. So it's very much like tattoo removal, if you've ever seen those viral videos of. So he's cleaning each of our boys off, Tipsy, and then Waddles next, actually. Waddles has far less square footage on him. Would it be 1? No, he'll take his time and like make sure the right side, the top side, the left side, front, back. And the grateful Waddles, because his new scarf just got all poopied, because squirreling around in the sewers sure ain't great. So doing that, and then Onyx is very much like a toddler. So when a rock comes up to Onyx, then stop. And so like there's a little like chase across the streets. Come back, come on, Onyx, are you seriously? And so instead of like the nice like the kind of checker pattern that Tipsy ends up being before they get like super washed, because it's a cantrip, and cantrip has like minimal magic to it, so it's not super powerful. But when Rock finally gives up on Onyx, then there's just squares all mismatched and patches that weren't even touched. Like any of this underside, like Onyx wouldn't have the patience to. So Rock goes, fine. Floon, Rhaenyra, do you mind? No, that's fine. I appreciate it. Like, anything that can help. And so then he takes a while, and they're still traveling upwards, and it's getting darker now, and people are hurrying home, just like in the very first episode, where they're not really paying attention. It's like it's getting colder, so people just want to go from work to home. Like, there's no dilly-daddling, unless you're super insulated and have super good winter wear. Then you won't spend a lot of time outside. It's a lot of just point A to point B. So they're going that way, and then Toot Toot goes, I am sorry, I have quite a bit of square footage on me. And Rock goes, it's fine. You surprisingly came out of that without a lot of muck about you. That is very impressive. Well, thank you. I like to stay clean. That's just the lawfully good thing to do. And after Rock presentates everyone, then it is a lot more tolerable. And they're not like Swamp Thing just with like mud sticking to all of them, because most of them fell into the foot of sewage down into Shears, except Floon. But they all stunk real bad, and I was like, oh, that if I was in the Yawning Portal and I saw 4, 5, 6 beings come in just covered in mud, what I would hope to be mud, then I wouldn't like that. So I was trying to figure out ways to go about that. So they're going up. Rock tried his best, but they will need to like bathe, which is taking a bucket of hot water. I don't know exactly how this works. Or the very Witcher thing where they have like, well, there are bathhouses, but I imagine they would have, I don't know. I actually don't know. We'll figure it out. So as they go up, then it's definitely, it earned this snowy scape for night. So they arrive at the Yawning Portal, and they go inside, and they see a couple things right off the bat. First, they see Durnan and still tending the bar to the left, and then they see Volothamp right in front of the iconic stone maw of the grand fireplace, kind of in the back, and sitting at the same table that he was at earlier today, this morning actually, so hours and hours and hours ago. Toot Toot goes up to Durnan first and goes, Durnan, we are back from our adventures. We would, I imagine, yes, I will speak for the group, we would like to keep these keys in the 2 rooms that we have for tonight. Is that all right? And then Durnan looks at him, and then looks at the whole group and goes, yep, 8 silver each key. Good to see you. And he points at Rhaenyra. And then he points at Floon. Watch it. And then Floon goes, oh, okay. Like a bashful got caught. And Rhaenyra does like the grateful nod. And good to see you too, Durnan. It's been a hell of a couple days. In fact, actually, can we get some food? Floon, you ate. I can eat again, man. All right. First round is on a very grateful me, Rhaenyra. I unfortunately, Durnan, I don't have money on me right now, but put it on my tab. And then Durnan, like, it interrupts him. He knows he's good for it. Then he goes, food. And then he gestures just to the whole party, and then Rainier goes, and drink, but we'll talk about drink here in a minute. I don't want to. We'll settle things first. And then Durnan nods once, and then after my main 4 boys pay 4 silver each, then Durnan collects the 16 silver, and then the 2 keys were repaid for tonight, so they have their rooms for tonight. And then at this point, right before, so Durnan slides the 16 silver over to his side of the bar, and then he goes, "It's been waiting for you." And then he points over to Volothamp, who is pretty much... Let me roll up my sleeves first, because that's not great audio. All right. Great. So they go over to Volothamp, who is slumped over the table, like his head on his arms. And when the characters approach, then Rainier... Someone just knocked on my door. Guess who's not going to answer that? This guy. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay. They go over to Volothamp, who's slumped over the table, and then Rainier rasps on the, like, what happened at my front door, but what is that, rapping on the table? He knocks on the table, and then Volothamp...
Oh, is this a dream? Are you here, Floon and Rainier? Oh, it's great to see you. Oh, and the new ones. Oh, I was so worried.
And everyone, except kind of Tipsy and Onyx, kind of reel back, because Volothamp is just, you can see the air, like, in front of him be, like, wavy, like when you're staring over the top of a campfire, because Volothamp has been pretty much drinking since he said goodbye to, like, since the boys left him this morning, because he was so anxious, and he is reeking of alcohol, to which Tipsy is just, like, he perks up.
I have been so worried about you, my boy.
And then he reaches for Floon's, like, wrist and grabs a hold of it a little too tightly. And Floon, thanks for being concerned. We'll tell you the whole story here in a second. Should we sit? And then I'm still very hungry, and, like, drinks would be awesome. And then Tipsy, like, looks up to the mention of more drinks.
Yes, this all sounds very good. Let us sit down and we'll tell you everything you want to know,
Volothamp. And then Onyx tunes in with, and money.
Just sit down, everyone. Floon.
And then he actually drags Floon to sit down next to him, and he's a pretty strong man. And so Floon gets dragged and gets plopped down. And so everyone sits around this table, and Volo goes. So Volo goes, what happened? 'Cause I haven't seen you in days, my boy. And then everyone tells Volo about Volo. After Volo left the Skewered Dragon, then Rainier came in and started drinking with Floon, but Floon already had a head start. And then as they left the Skewered Dragon, then a bunch, 5 of the Zentirum, the Zents, which is the Black Network and bad missionary people, they were following
Rainier and Floon out of the skewered dragon, and then they jumped them, and then drugged them to Candle Lane, and threw them in a warehouse, and then started questioning them because the Zents thought that Rainier, his dad, who is the open lord of Waterdeep, embezzled 500,000 gold pieces and hid it, and they were trying to find it using the Stone of Glore and stuff. And then after a while, then some Xanathar Guild members came in and killed everyone, and there was a kerfuffle, and they took Floon, mistaking him for Rainier, down to the Xanathar hideout in the sewers, but they tied Rainier up and then threw him in a closet, and then some Kenku were looking after him, just keeping an eye. And then my boys came in, and then tied up and put to sleep, then tied up the Kenku. And then when they escaped, then put them to sleep and then tied them up again, and then rescued Rainier, then went to the sewers, and then rescued Floon. And then Volotham this whole time is listening, awestruck, with like his eyes half closed, and like doing the nodding off thing.
Oh, that's wonderful. A compelling story. I will make sure to write it down, to share with the world. Thank you for rescuing Floon. I confess that I promised you 10 by 10 dragons each upon the safe arrival,
And then squeezes the arm of Floon.
of Floon, my friend. But I have but few coins to spare, but never let it be said that Volo reneges on a promise. Allow me to present something much more valuable.
And then he digs around in his leather satchel, and then pulls out a scroll tube, and then he looks up and then scans the table.
Ah, my boy.
And then hands it over to Rock, who Rock was like, at being noticed, and then purposefully given this, even though it's like a conflict. Rock, even though he had 3 games that I played previously, like, I don't mean for him to deal with racial issues and sense of identity and purpose, but alas, here we go. And the push and pull of wanting to learn a whole bunch of stuff, and then following your destiny and blah blah blah, versus nature versus nurture. So Volotham slides it over. He slides it end first to Rock, but then it being cylindrical, kind of as it gets pushed, then it just rolls, and so Rock has to catch it.
The deed to a remarkable property here in Waterdeep will need a magistrate to witness the transfer of ownership. I'll arrange a meeting with one after you've inspected the estate and deemed it satisfactory upon the morrow.
Because at this point, it is definitely night outside. And Rock, everyone kind of wide eyes turns to Rock, and Rock goes, "Oh, that is different and unexpected. Huh. He looks at Toot Toot. Were we planning on staying enough to own property?" And then he looks over at Onyx and Tipsy, and Tipsy goes,
Well, open it. Let's see.
and then he fiddles with the end of the scroll tube, and then does the and then he opens it up, and then a bunch of bricka-bricka. But it is a deed to Troll Skull Manor, a historic building in the North Ward, which is north of where they are right now in the Trades Ward, Dock Ward, Yawning Portal situation. The deed has been notarized and appears legitimate, parentheses, because it is, end parentheses. That's the details that I like.
And then Volo goes on to say, I recently bought the property because it is rumored to be haunted, and I was hoping that investigating it might yield a chapter for my next book, Volo's Guide to Spirits and Specters, but I didn't find anything.
And with this, Volo's like slowing down a whole bunch. And Tipsy goes, well, speaking of spirits, I think you ordered food. And then he points at Rainier, and Rainier nods. And then we all need drinks. I think that's something we need to do. All in favor? And then he raises his hand, and then he gets down off his stool and then just walks to the bar without seeing anyone else's hand go up. But as the camera follows him a little bit, then you see Onyx's arm go up.
Yes.
And thank you, Yams Garnet, for subscribing with Prime account. Holy cow, that's amazing. Thank you very, very much. Wow, I just took a look at the chat, so hot dog. And on the 10th episode, my 6th year here in Atlanta. Ooh, that's a fantasy sounding ass name. Atlanta. Where we're all mermaids. No, that was a Futurama joke. Anyway, let's see. Great. So, then Volo kind of like is now winding down, and Durnan comes out and brings out like a huge just tray with like 3 rotisserie chickens on it and potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. So I don't forget. Potatoes. But I recently watched the first 1.5 extended editions of the Lord of the Rings movies when I went up to North Carolina. Y'all, they're awesome. Who'da thunk? I didn't. No, I knew they were awesome, but like that was the first time I watched 1.5 of them. So potatoes, carrots and potatoes, and like leafy greens. I don't know, but no onions. That is my least favorite food. That is Victor's least favorite food. So not even in my fantasy world will we have goddamn onions. No. They were eating nothing but onions in the Xanathar Guild hideout in the sewers, because that's where they belong. Yeah, fuck onions. I'm not political, but I will say that. Excuse me. So, brings that out, and like, I don't know, forks, but like Game of Thrones, like a stick and then 2 prongs. So not like none of this 4 or 5 prong modern ass shit. No, we're doing Renaissance Festival. We're doing medieval times where you get a bowl of soup with a handle on it. That's what they're eating tonight. And so then they're all enjoying their food. A very thankful Rainier and Floon. Like, even though Floon just ate some halfling food, like, it's like half portions. So it was more snacks than actual food. So they're chowing down real hard. And then my boys, they ate rations on the way to the sewers. No, on the way to the warehouse. So it was even more hours than that. So everyone's joyfully eating. And then Tipsy, when he went to the bar, he got he bought around for everyone, huh? So, but of the cheap stuff, because that's my boy Tipsy. Oh, even better. So he bought a round of cheap stuff so that he could get glasses. So he bought, let's see, 1. Okay, there's the 4, and then Volo, and then Rainier, and then Floon. So that's 7. 7 times 5, because that's how much like a mug costs in my head. 5 copper. So 35 copper, future Victor, or 3 silver and 5 copper. Because again, a copper's like $1, and silver's like $10. So $35. He buys around, and he kind of hurries. Well, he downs his essentially like PBR. Like him and Onyx are just going for speed. Who drinks faster? All right. Tipsy will be this one. Onyx will be this one. Oh boy. What? No! That's bad. That's a bad omen. Both of them rolled natural ones. I don't know what that means narratively. I don't know what that means, like, universally, cosmically. Okay. So, as Tipsy gets Durnan to deliver a tray full of 7 PBRs, because Tipsy's not going to carry this across the way. No, even better. He orders some, and then Bonnie, who is the petite strawberry blonde waitress, she delivers 7 rounds. And she hands them all off, and there's like a look of recognition at like Toot Toot and Rock, because that's who she dealt with most the last time. And she hands them off going, "Here you go, boys. Is tonight going to be a wild one?" And then Tipsy and Onyx both like look up and grab their mugs, and Tipsy goes,
Yep. Just keep an eye on us.
and then she kind of like half giggles, and then leaves. But then Tipsy starts drinking, and then Onyx is drinking, and then you can see Onyx's tankard go up a little bit quicker, and then Tipsy like looks over, and then and so they're both drinking to the point of like both of them are spilling it more on themselves than actually getting in their mouths. So it's like that frothy, like Onyx is getting it all in his white beard, and Tipsy like spilling all down his front, the windbreaker material. So it's like, and it's just like there's puddles underneath both of them, and they both finish at the same time, and like bleh, like that gross foamy burp, both of them. So that's how 2 natural ones resolves in a drinking contest. But then Tipsy pulls out from his magic backpack a bottle that he got at the Skewered Dragon. And I have down here, he has 15 bottles of random alcohol from the Skewered Dragon. Roll to see how full they are and how good they are. And I'm hoping he rolls badly, because that's funny for me. So, a 1d10 to see how full this one is. A 9. Okay, yeah. So, a pretty full bottle of... All right, this will be a good natural one. A 9 as well. Okay. So, it's not bad. What's a 9 out of 20 alcohol? Like cheap rum. Is that good? No. Like vodka, but just like straight vodka. I looked at the chat real quick, and my sister says, "I still have the anti-onion note you left in my fridge on half an onion." It says, "I almost threw this goddamn devil food away every time I open the fridge." Yep. That's very funny on my part. And thank you, Sarah, for keeping that note. I write some pretty funny notes. So, a 9 is just straight vodka. And, like, not flavored. And it's, like, bitter? I don't know. So, he pulls this out. So, he'll have 14 bottles now. And then he, like, looks around, and Bonnie's helping Durnan with, like, another large order. And so he... And then he under the table to his tankard, and then he looks up, and then Onyx is like, "Oh, come on," and then he thrusts his tankard at him, and so both of them get straight vodka in their tankards, and then everyone's kind of just discussing generally around the table. Toot Toot's pretty much like a one and done kind of guy for drinking, but this PBR, when you had a really rough day, and this wasn't as rough as their first evening here, but just a long day where you need a lawnmower, which is like a 16-ounce, like a pretty large, beer, like a can of beer, and then you're just sitting there, and that's what you drink after you mow the lawn, of just like a nothing heavy like an IPA where you're just like, this is the rest of my night, but just like a nice I needed something refreshing. So Toot Toot's very much like that with his PBR, and I need a good chat as you're listening to me weave this tale. What is a good fantasy PBR using the letters PBR? Think about that. That'll be a fun little interaction thing. PBR. That, and then Rock is kind of reading, he barely touches PBR, but he's reading over the pages of this curled up deed, and every once in a while, he perks up and goes, This is legitimate. This looks like an actual building, and there are plenty of rooms for all of us. Wow. Volo, and then he looks up and makes eye contact with the very sleepy older man. I think I said he was middle-aged, but he's turned into an old man by now. And then Volo perks up. Yes.
This is very generous. Thank you.
And Volo, is waving it off. Yes. You've done me a great service, and then slaps Floon hard on the back, and Floon, with a drumstick in his mouth, You've done me a great service of retrieving this young lad, and grabs the back of his neck and shakes him a little bit, and Floon wabbles back and forth. So, even though I'm low on funds, I'm not low on funds, as in good time and entertainment, and it, and then he points at the deed. It is actually in a very established neighborhood, and tomorrow, after we do the magistrate, I will show you around to your new neighbors, and they are quite a delightful bunch, and you can do shopping, and then he takes some of his beer. He takes some of my two suggestions, one from my sister, Sarah, Pony Bridge Ale, which is pretty good, and then one from my mom, Padawan Blue Ale. Ooh. Neither have R's in them, but Padawan Blue, that's some Star Wars blue milk shit going on. Straight from the teat of those, I don't like that I said that, but from the sea things. I don't know what they're called. Y'all, I have a tie on. You can't see it because of the microphone, but so Volo takes a swig and it's just and then Rainier and Floon are chowing down. Floon, who it was being kind of thrown about a little bit by Volo, looks up and scans the table and then sees across the way that Tipsy and Onyx are they have their tankards underneath the table, and are looking a little conspicuous. And Floon goes, hold on a second, I'll just be right back. And then he scoots his chair back and then walks over to the littles conspiring at that end of the table, and he goes, Hey, little top off. And he holds up his tankard, and then both Tipsy and Onyx, who are becoming very a notorious pair, look up, and with a glint in Tipsy's eyes goes, "Oh, here you go." And then Tipsy pours a little, like, not a full glass, but, you know, like, he pours like 2/5 of a glass, and then Floon's like, just a little bit more. And then Tipsy goes, "Okay, so you like to partay. Here you go." And then fills it at like 4/5 of the way up. Okay, let's see. More things. Sarah says, "In my fantasy world, ale starts with an R. Rail. Powerful beholder rage." There. Yes. Thank you, Sarah. You're delightful. And thank you, Mommy, for the Star Wars inspired suggestion. So, now Floon and Tipsy and Onyx are drinking literally under the table. So they're having fun with that. After a while, after the potatoes and carrots and chicken are just being picked at now lazily, and let's see. Yeah, they haven't gone all the way through that vodka bottle yet, but like an hour in, then another round of PBR has been bought by Rainier, let's say, so that I don't have to do actual math anymore, because it sucks. No, it's fine. This is for narrative. Yes. So then, let's see. I have notes down that I do want to stick to a little bit. So, another hour in, and then you hear from behind you, Durnan at the bar, like, do a whistle. No, hold on. I could do it better than that. I should do it in the microphone. Hold on. I'll edit the best one for the podcast. Hey! There we go. That was good. So then they kind of turn around. Then he points at Onyx. And what you see at the bar is a short little red dragon guy who is a kobold. And he's holding this like parchment paper package tied up with some twine. And then he's like just stepping like from one foot to the other.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you very much.
And then Durnan nods, and then he's this kobold like scurries over to Onyx, and then he looks up.
And here you go. Free shipping your pirate garb back because you left it in the Crimson Cavern. Convex.
And then Onyx, who's halfway through his like 2 PBRs and half a tankard of vodka, looks down. Well, I actually I don't want it anymore. Can I return it to shipping? And then shipping narrows his eyes.
I just came around here like every hour today to return this to you. But it'll be my pleasure. Yes.
Can I get, like, money? Would you buy it?
Yes, the Crimson Convex would be happy to take this, and then it'll cost for shipping though. But I will return with money.
And then Onyx goes, "Oh, great. Cheers." And then he holds up his tankard and like sloshes a little bit on himself. And then the kobold. And then he like kind of bow-legged hops to the entrance, and then opens the windy door and closes it, and then he'll come back later. But that character interaction was suggested by my mom, who, after the interaction with the kobold's tax shipping and handling, then she asked, do their old clothes get shipped back to their tavern rooms? Maybe shipping did get to feel useful. So Onyx's pirate garb, who didn't want it anymore, that gave him pretty much the reckless... what's it called? Reckless attack thing, where twice a day, I think, or 3 times a day, if he said a pirate war cry, then he could get advantage on attack. But it didn't feel like what my 2021 Onyx is anymore. So we're gonna return it for some monies. Y'all, this new laptop, well, newish, is really struggling. Like, it's doing the fan thing, and I'll figure that out. Anyways, sorry, hold on. Uh-oh. Oh, no? Okay, there we go. Okay, so, they're all figuring stuff out. And then we'll have 2 things go on. One, Tipsy needs to roll something. All right, so for this new die, Tipsy needs to roll on the Tipsy Drunk table. 16. Great. Cool. So, Tipsy goes, yeah, if you'll excuse me. And then he pushes his chair back after he, just finishes off the tankard of vodka and then places it down. And he goes, excuse me? Oh, I'll be right back. And then he kind of falls out of his stool and stumbles a little bit. And at that, then an equally intoxicated Onyx puts both of his newly found trophies up on the table. And one is the popped gazer, who's looking pretty gross. Both of these are pretty gross to see at a table in a tavern, but the intellect devourer, he plops right next to him to his right, which is right next to Rock, who is staring, who was going through the last of the papers going, wow, this is actually really good value in the estate and the property tax. And then the squashed intellect devourer, this deflated balloon of brain matter with some lion cub paws, splots next to Rock, kind of on his papers, and he moves them away a little bit quickly, and then he's just staring into the intellect devourer. And he's taking this time to see it up close without the fear of God in him. And Toot Toot notices this interaction, and Toot Toot kind of leans towards Rock, and he goes, are you okay? Would you like me to get that off the table? And then Rock goes, no, it's fine. Here's the thing. And he with that, then that calls the attention of the whole table, and now the whole table's listening to him. Volotham's in and out, so he's not really paying attention. But here's the thing. Before I came here, I had a friend who is about Tipsy's size, wherever Tipsy is. He's a squirrely one, that one. And even though we had very limited interactions, unfortunately, we were in some peril, and he faced death twice. And after one of the times he came back, then he talked about the Raven Queen. No, my cruel. And Onyx perked up at the mention of Raven Queen. And that he was, being silly and buzzed, but then there's like a seriousness to him staring at Rock, and Rock going, "Faced death twice, and I fared better than him for those interactions. I, however, today felt rather useless." And then he looks up at all the table, and then Toot Toot puts his large Loxodon hand on the back of Rock and, does a couple mighty pats. Thank you, but I went unconscious thrice, and going unconscious once is not a fun time. So I felt that I did not contribute well today. I know that I have spells now, and then he taps his side where the Grumshar spellbooks are. And there are some things in here that will help, definitely, but I felt rather useless. And it's a rotten feeling, if I'm being honest. And when I faced this, and then he gestures, he does not touch, but he gestures at the intellect devour. And when I went out the third time, it was darkness, but it was such a foreboding darkness. I could feel that it was doing something to me, and it was as if... And then he looks around the table, and he first spots Onyx. It's as if you were not able to hit anything again. Or you, Tyranneer, being charming and chivalrous. Floon, I don't know you that well, so I'm going to just skip over you. And then he looks at Volo, and then he turns to Toot Toot. It is, if you imagine, if you could never talk again, or play music, or listen to music. For you, I would imagine, it would be like a deafened world. And that was unpleasant. It was everything that I hold my purpose to was being eaten from me, was being taken. And I promise you, lads, that will not happen again. So, thank you for saving my bacon, because that was... I do not have strength, and he looks at the very sleepy Volothamp, who's not looking at him. I do not have strength, I do not have gruesome rage. I have my intellect, I have my brain, I have my mind, which is mighty, and that is good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. And then he looks at the intellect devourer. I am Rock the Purple, and I am good enough. And then he grabs one of the lion cub paws and lifts it, and it dangles in his grasp. Onyx, this is rather disgusting. Could you please keep it off the table? And then he hands it over to Onyx, who grabs it without a snarking grunt, and puts it under the table. And Toot Toot, listening to that very eloquent speech, if I don't say so myself, taps his back again, and he can feel Rock straighten up with purpose and drive. And with that, then Rainier holds up his tankard of PBR, and golly, y'all, I'm sorry that my video's not good. I'll figure that out, because right now it's telling me that it's choppy again, and I watched the last episode and half of it was really choppy, so I'm sorry. I'm figuring out technology. It's only episode 10. By episode 50, we'll have something brewing, baby. So, Rainier lifts up his tankard of PBR and goes, "Well, Rock, you saved me today, and I appreciate that. And you saved Floon today, and he appreciates that." And then a sloppy vodka Floon goes, "Yeah, man." And Volothamp, just hearing the lifting of tankards and sees blurrily them being lifted in the air, goes, "Ah, yes, to life." And then Toot Toot raises his and looks to Rock and goes, "You are enough, my friend." And Onyx holds his up highest and sloshes some of the vodka out, and it splashes. And then Rock goes, "Is that vodka?" And Onyx goes, "To Rock." And then the whole table, "To Rock." And then they drink joyfully, and then the night picks up, and it's lively, and it's relief. It's an assignment, a mission accomplished in a day. It's that no one died permanently that wasn't on the team. And then you hear way up on the third floor of this 3-story tavern, you hear, "To Rock!" And then you look up to see Tipsy on the 3rd floor standing on the railing, because he rolled a 16, and on the Tipsy drunk table, it is Tipsy 16, climb up or onto something. So I have very good fun things for the Tipsy drunk table. But 3 stories up, you see standing on the wooden railing, you see Tipsy in all his forest gnome glory, just soaking in, and then you hear gasps and "Oh!" and people interacting and cheering him on, and then you hear some worried people go, "Get off of that." And then Tipsy's like, "I am Tipsy!" And then the whole bar just raises up their whatever they're drinking, and like a cheer, like this whole, right at the end of a play, just that rush of audience interaction, and Tipsy's just flush, and he's like, "Yes! Now I'm going to jump onto the rope!" And then, because from the 2nd story, there's a rope that goes from this giant stone golem to the ceiling of the Yawning Portal, and then down, deep down through the well that is in the middle of the Yawning Portal, that is the Yawning Portal. And from my table, then, my Rock and Toot Toot, who are in mid cheers, go, "Do what?" And then they look up, and Tipsy will do front flip or back flip. And then the crowd goes, "Oh, front flip, back flip." And he goes, "I heard front flip." And then he will jump to try and he will jump and try to grab onto the rope that is just in the middle of, oh boy, in the middle of the Yawning Portal. So now, what does that little thing mean? Okay. Would Tipsy have disadvantage because he's drunk? No, I'll say that this is just a straight roll. Oh boy. All right, yep. Tipsy, god damn it. You always do stuff, which is great. A little chaotic good gnome. All right, here we go. Thankfully, Tipsy, a rogue, has a +9 to acrobatics, so I'm not that worried. However, it's real dumb. An 8. 8 plus 9, that's still 17. Okay, that's fine. So he jumps, he does a front flip, he goes, "Phew!" and then he does a front flip, and then kind of like he runs into the rope a little bit, but like it hits like his clavicle down to his side, but like he holds on to it and then down. Let's Toot Toot and Rock will now make dexterity saving throws to try and catch Tipsy before he goes down the well. All right. Dexterity saving throws, not great for either of them, but Rock rolled a 16 plus 2 dexterity saving throws, so that's 19 altogether, 18, and then 12 plus 4, 16 for Toot Toot. So both of them like push back their seats and like go towards as Tipsy's like spinning down the rope, and then both of them kind of like reach out and grab Tipsy, like one on each side of his waist and like to his like rib cage, and then they like bring him back, and the rope travels with him a little bit, but it's kind of tight, so there's not a lot of slack, so they pull him and then he lets go, and then the rope goes thum, dum, dum, dum. Kind of tight. It's a very, very, very long rope. Yeah, that sounds good. So Tipsy goes, I am a god. And they both go, okay, all right, let's put you down at the table. And they do so. And that's funny. So, okay, no, this is interesting. So they go on drinking for a little bit more. After that, then you hear the door open, and then the wind again, and then you hear and then Shipping came back, and Shipping went,
All right, so
goes up to Onyx.
with the price of shipping and then to handling and for tax also, here is the gold that we traded the pirate guy for.
And then he deposits a small bag of coin onto the table. A small... Yeah, that's fine. And then Onyx goes, thanks. And then stares at at Shipping, and Shipping's looking up going,
Well, all right. Come to the Crimson Convex anytime you want. Okay.
and then, oh, okay, yeah. I don't remember if I talked about this, but Onyx goes, so Shipping's gonna turn around, and Onyx goes, well, hold on. Do you do tanning services? I think I might ask that, but I'll
Tanning? Like hide and stuff?
yeah.
Like skin? No. We deal in cloth and polyester and other stuff.
Okay. And then Shipping turns around again, and then Onyx goes, well, hold on. Do you do armor?
Armor? No. We like t-shirts and long-sleeved shirts and sweatshirts and baseball caps.
What's baseball?
I don't know. Magnets?
List 3 more, Victor.
Drawstring bags?
Are they magic?
They look magic. They're magical. So, phone cases? And then, oh shoot, hold on. And then coasters for your tankards that you have right now.
I'd like some coasters. But no, hold on, no, I need armor.
We don't have armor yet, but we might.
Who knows? And then he like steps back, and then he heads out the door, doing the bow-legged like bong 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 bong, and then he just goes on out. Sarah asked, is there a store located in a reddish bubble? Yes. So in Shops and Snowy Streets. Is that what it's called? Episode something. Oh, I have all my episodes right here. In Shops and Snowy Streets, episode 4. Yeah. The Crimson Convex is Victor's very funny way of inserting Redbubble into a fantasy world. Very meta, very fourth wall. So the outer facade of the building was this like red bubble that they put their hands through, and like it was permeable, and so they went in and it was like magic. So it was really cool. It was real special. So yeah, you can find my Redbubble account at redbubble.com/people/DnMeAdventures and like gnome/shop. And where can you find that also? On my link tree. So that's linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures and like gnome. So yay! Thanks for the plug. Wink. All right. So that is that. And they actually all Toot Toot looks up and goes, well, actually, yes. So, speaking of which, I need to buy stuff tomorrow because it is late tonight and we are all having a good time and drinking. And so tomorrow we'll play more inventory. But what else do people need? I, for example, and he looks at Rainier, I need a tinderbox because I have candles and I do not have something to which to light them. Yeah, I have 5 candles and 0 tinderbox. And Rainier goes, oh yeah, well there's general goods stores and a whole bunch of stuff, whatever you need. Aye. What else? And then Rock perks up and goes, I would always like some more spells. I will look through what I have now, but is there a resource for spells? And then Volothamp at this point.
Oh, actually, tomorrow when I introduce your new neighbors, if you deem the estate worthy, then there is someone who might very well be a connoisseur and a bookworm.
And Rock straightens up, proud, and he rolls the deed back up, puts it in the spell scroll, and he puts that in his pocket, goes, all right. And then Onyx says to the table, Tanner, I need something to tan, and bones, so, and then he and he holds up in his left hand, the opposite from Rock. He holds up the squashed intellect devour, and then he puts it in his lap, and then he takes out the dead gazer, and then Floon this time goes, oh, if you need like gross stuff like that, I actually know, I know 2 people I can introduce you to tomorrow. Onyx smiles and downs the rest of his vodka. And then Tipsy has went around and topped off Floon and Onyx and himself. So that gets rid of one of the bottles. So Onyx goes, I like it. And then Tipsy, who this whole time after like he topped off their drinks and he sits down.
Well, I've been looking through my inventory, and I have...
Again, to give y'all a sense of Tipsy's inventory, it is a full page, single-spaced, 2 columns. That's all Tipsy's inventory. And then the other 3 have a column each. So that's how much bonkers shit Tipsy has. And he
I've been looking through my inventory, and let's see. I don't need this anymore.
And then he holds up the empty thieves' tools. No, I think he threw that away. He holds up 2 lodestones and goes,
I don't need these anymore because I don't know that spell anymore.
and then Rock perks up. Spell?
Yeah, 2 lodestones for mending? I don't have mending anymore because Victor cleaned me out.
Because I had to balance, Tipsy, I had to balance, like, I couldn't have 3 characters having mending and minor illusion.
No, it's fine. So I don't need these anymore.
And then Rock goes, can I have them? I love components. And Tipsy looks over at Rock.
Yeah, man. Here.
Ooh. And then another opportunity to climb onto or up something. Then Tipsy climbs onto the table and
Ooh, chicken.
and then he goes down and grabs a wing and starts
Here you go. 2 lodestones.
to Rock, who gleefully goes. And Rock, I would say he's a little bit of a lightweight. Like he's more of a wine guy because of purple, but he's feeling it. He's gotten darker purple cheeks, and and he opens up his component pouch and he puts 1, 2 lodestones in. That got very Mad Hatter. 2 lodestones in. No, 2 lodestones in. Still pretty Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
And then Tipsy goes over to his backpack.
Oh, and you want this?
And then he holds up like this small little branch that's like charred.
And he goes, this is a twig struck by lightning. I don't need it anymore. I don't have witch bolt.
And then Rock goes, oh, witch bolt? I want witch bolt.
Well, I don't have the magic, but you can have the stick, the component part.
And then Rock goes, yeah, give it. And so, and then Tipsy goes back to his table going, back to his seat, like standing and crossing the table back and forth. And he goes,
if anyone's eavesdropping on this, like they might go, oh, wow, inventory. This is really boring, but hey, I love it. Who else wants stuff? No, actually, you, Rock. Here's another one I want.
And then he goes around and then he picks up, he goes like into his magic backpack and then comes out.
Like, I'm not saying that, like, this could have been applicable to you a couple times today, but here you go. You want a zombie scroll?
And then Rock goes,
what? A zombie scroll. Here, let me read it. But,
hold on 2 seconds. If it's a zombie scroll, I don't think you should be reading it.
No, I'm not gonna, like, read it and do the magic and, like, spell it and spend it, expel it. There's, like, a little summary on the mag of it. So, zombie scroll, which could have been you could have been a zombie. Zombie.
And that is one contribution to Toot Toot's ongoing Spotify playlist, which you can also find on my Linktree. Victor, stop. You can't sell out if no one's giving you money for this. All right.
He reads, zombie scroll. Read it to a 0 HP character. That means 0 hit points. Which, again, is you 3 times today.
Yes, thank you. You don't have to repeat.
And then it resurrects into a zombie. It has 0 AC. So it's pretty weak. But you want it?
And then Rock goes, I do love magic.
But necromancy's not my favorite.
And then Volo perks up with that, going, oh, well, an argument for that is if one of your friends revives you or gives you a health potion, is that not considered necromantic? And then Rock stares. He kind of like looks at Floon instead of Volothamp, but he goes, that is a sound point. But give me that. And then he reaches for the zombie scroll. I will use this if it's absolutely necessary. And then he puts it carefully in his satchel bag. So he gives that to DB. Good. I need to retype this whole list. Excuse me. And then Tipsy goes back into his bag and he brings out a giant club and a giant sickle. Does anyone want these? And then Toot Toot stands up going, okay, all right, put those back in. You are causing a scene. Put those back in your backpack right now. As Tipsy does. We will, if you don't need them, we will sell them tomorrow. Gentlemen, is there a place where we can sell metal? You have a sickle?
Yeah, I have a sickle. I'm sick, bro.
What does that even mean? I don't know. Yeah, is there a place where we could sell a sickle or what else do you have?
Ah, man, I got all sorts of stuff.
All right, well, metal things. And then Volo goes, there is a metal worker right next to you. I promise. Your neighbors, you just give me one day and the mansion is yours.
Mansion? Whoa.
Yes. Brock says, it's technically a manor, but yes, mansion, that's pretty much the same. And we look at that, you say yes on it, you give your approval, and then it is all yours. But I do think that is a deal for tomorrow, and I am exhausted, so I will bid you adieu. Floon. And then Floon, yeah, what? And Floon's schwasty-faced from vodka. It's good to have you back.
You said that like a whole bunch of times today, and I really appreciate it.
Rainier, it's always good to see you. You as well, Volo. You have a good night. You get home safe, all right? We're not going to play this game again. We're not going to have these fine lads go looking for your drunk ass. Okay.
And then Volo starts slowly making his way to the entrance of the Yawning Portal. And then everyone else kind of... the evening dies down. Shoot, what else do I do? The evening dies down. Oh, here's something I can do. Excuse me. So, Toot Toot stands up, and he goes, there's one last thing I would like to do before I head to bed. Rock here is, are we good for the same sleeping arrangements? And then, at this point, Onyx brings out one of his bottles of random alcohol from the Skewered Dragon to split with everyone. So, to roll. That is a 1, so fullness-wise, it's only like enough for the 3 shots of the very the ones who are heavily drinking. So it's 3 shots of. Well, okay, it's like 2 shots, so they each get like 2/3 a shot. And with a 15, though, this is like some very good whiskey. So he brings that up, and so Onyx is pouring that out, and
Tipsy goes, yeah, we'll all sleep in the whatever, yeah.
And then Rock, Toot Toot hands Rock the key. This is for our room. You go ahead up whenever you want. This might be a little bit. And Toot Toot pushes himself back, and like the night is not dying down, but it's getting pretty late. But from the very first time he entered the Yawning Portal, even before he entered the Yawning Portal, he heard the music on the wind of the local entertainment in the Yawning Portal. And when he went inside the tavern, then he looked around and spotted the stage area. But last night he was so busy that he couldn't indulge. And so then he goes over to this little stage area, and it's kind of tucked away in the back of the tavern, first floor, and it's this nice little built-out wooden stage, and all of the people in the tables in front of it are not paying attention to the entertainment. And as he's going up, he picks an empty table, maybe even a bar stool that's along the side of the wall, that's like right next to that random floating plank that's on the, I was gonna say like attached to the wall, but it's a fantasy world, so like a floating plank sounds cool too. So Toot Toot saddles up on a stool next to a floating tank, kind of a little bit away from the wall, and he leans up against the floating plank, and he's listening, and the music is all right. It is okay. It's not the best he's ever heard, but it's better than the not music he has heard this whole day. And there's only one man who is dressed very much like a bard. He has the big poofy shoulders with the little like poker dealer ties to the sleeves, and like a big, even more purple floppy hat to Volothamp with like it's like a bright purple with a big ostentatious peacock feather coming out of it. And he's wearing like a tight vest and some foofy pants that are foofy in places where like you're like, these are pants. I don't get it. 'Cause I'm a very fashion. And he is like kind of half sitting with one leg up on the stools, like cross section, and then another one on the other leg on the floor, the other foot on the floor. And he is playing a lute, and he's singing some songs, and they are okay. Again, it's nothing to write home about. It's very much like an average, like kind of, it's music that they put on and you're not really paying attention to it. So, even after he finishes the songs, then these people have been here drinking the whole night, and they are not applauding after every song because he's not a great musician. And he finishes a song with a little like a little strum, and no one is clapping. Everyone is just continuing their conversation and eating and drinking. And then in the back of the room, you hear Toot Toot. And then this person looking up going, "Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Here we go to the next one. Strum, 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 strum." And he plays another song. And Toot Toot is listening. He will roll something for keen hearing. He will kind of like close his eyes because Toot Toot is not proficient in stringed instruments. He is proficient in horn, and his trunk, flute, pan flute, and bagpipes. But even though he has a three-necked lute, like just on the back of him, and a didgeridoo quarterstaff, which I never remember, he just got the three-necked lute, which is race car red, and it's that shiny, and it's called the Motherfucker. So he just got it, and he is learning. He's plucking every once in a while, but he's not proficient. So this bard playing the lute is interesting to him. So he wants to close his eyes and listen intently. And this will be advantage for perception for hearing. Oh, okay. 5 plus 3, 8, and then 14 plus 3, 17. Okay, that's good. So with a 17, he closes his eyes, and then he's listening, and then how many strings do lutes have? Lute. That looks like... How many strings is that? 1, 2, 3. Is it like a guitar? As you can tell, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 or 6 strings. But with a 17, he's listening, and then he only he's listening and he's enjoying the music. But again, it's not great. His timing's okay, but there's no passion behind it. But he's listening, and he can only hear 3 distinct strings, and he opens one of his eyes and looks, and sure enough, this lute with this very just gaudy lounge singer, the Bill Murray from SNL, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars, bard is hamming up the singing a little bit too much, and his playing isn't the greatest. It's fine. It's rudimentary. It's fundamental. But then, as Toot Toot's I don't know, and he's like, how many more songs do I listen to? 2 or 3 before it's rude, and then I'll go back up to my table, and then he hears this beautiful, this incredible fingering of this intricate little stanza that is much more talented than what this bard has been doing so far. And then Toot Toot straightens back up, and then the bard, who was kind of surveying the room and giving more attention to Toot Toot because Toot Toot clapped, then he notices Toot Toot perk up, and then he goes back to playing, hitting a wrong note or two, and then is just singing whatever he's singing. And Toot Toot, this piques Toot Toot's curiosity, and so then he sits, he lowers himself into the stool again and is listening, and this bard is poignantly not making eye contact with Toot Toot, and is looking at the tables who are not looking at him, and it's like squink, and putting some wrong notes, and having the thrill of emotions, and it's not great. But Toot Toot's and then after the next song ends, then the bard goes, and thank you very much. I'll be right back. Enjoy, and tip Bonnie and Durnan, and I'll be right back. And then he kind of scurries diagonally, so upstage right, and Toot Toot walks over there quickly to intercept him. And hold on, I want to read something real quick. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Okay. So, Toot Toot catches up with this bard as he's exiting the stage and going, "Excuse me." And then the bard looks up. "Oh, yeah, a fan. Hello. How can I help you?" Your music up there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting used to. I only have 3 strings. Check it out. There was a youngster over here a couple days ago, and he played, and then he was playing so well that his strings were popping off the instrument, and it was really a sight to behold. You should have been there to see that. I am not as talented as that, so this, I'm working with what I got. So I'm sorry. I guess I'm sorry. No, that is not what I was going to say. You And then, Tutu will roll an insight check right now. Okay. A 6 plus a 3, a 9. Versus... Oh, I don't think he has stats. Let's find out, though. Star Wars. Oh, yeah. Oh, whatever. What a whoa. Great. So, he had a... Oh, but I forgot what it was. Like a 9? A 6 plus a 3, yeah. This guy rolled a 3 plus a 2 in deception. So he's laying it on a little too thick along with his music. It's like, well, you should have been there for that night. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'll be right back. I'll take 5. And then Tutu goes, "What? Hold on. You played excellently." "No, I'm pretty sure I didn't." "No, you didn't for the most part, and I apologize as a fellow performer." "Well, you should get up at..." "Hold on, please. As a fellow performer, I don't mean to speak ill of your talent. You got up there. That is a very brave thing to do. You sang in front of a crowd and played music, both at the same time, which some cannot. But can you teach me that little... You had just a little bit that was just... It was a run, and it was marvelous. Could you teach me that?" And then this bard goes, That's not bad, huh? That's... I guess I don't think I can say no." And then he looks up at the 7'3" Loxodon. "No, you can say no if you would like, but why don't... And if this is personal, please forgive me. I do not mean to pry, but why don't you play, as well as you might be able to?" And then this guy goes, First of all, my name is 3 Strings. I bet you can guess why. I am afraid I did. Oh, well, it's because I have 3. No, it was a joke. Yeah, you have 3 strings, and that's why they play me Tusk Tickler. Why is that? Because I like to tickle the ivories. Bop, 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 bop. See, that's a Loxodon joke. We like to do that to break the ice. 3 Strings. Can you teach me, or... I'll be right back. I need to go get some water. And so then 3 Strings ducks away, and you can see his peacock plumage disappear into the crowd. And Tutu's like to himself, "That was a very suspicious motherfucker." "Oh, motherfucker, right?" And then he pulls out his lute, and then he plucks, dun, 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 like just going through the chords of it. Let's see. He will play just like hot cross buns on his he will play hot cross buns on his the motherfucker. That is a 10 plus 7 performance, and so with a 17, then he starts just 1, 2, 3, and he's at the like the stairs leading down from the stage, and so he's just silently like no, what's hot cross? That's a recorder song, but I don't know what's a beginner guitar song. I don't know. One of the Guitar Center, like when you go inside and then someone who's very good at guitar picks up and starts playing like the riffs that you don't want to hear over and over and over if you work at a Guitar Center. Tutu doesn't do that, but keep one of those in mind. Let me know what one is. So he starts just plucking, and he's getting into a good rhythm. He's not proficient in it yet. Oh shoot, I did say he was proficient. Well then, all right, -2, 15. That's still pretty good. So he's playing, and then one of the tables near the stage is actually, it's like an older man and an older woman, a human talking to each other, and then they kind of, one of them, and then they look towards the stage that's empty and goes, well, where is that music coming? And then they look to the other side and go, oh, hey, you are better than that other guy. And then Toot Toot looks down. Oh, well, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I did not mean to. He's just going for a little bit of a break.
Well, you should go up there and start singing.
Oh, well, I would love to, but, well, I guess because he is taking 5. And then you see another table over. Is that more music? Can you put something on? We weren't enjoying it, but music's good. Well, sure, sir. Excuse me. Yeah, you know what? Yes, I will. And so then Toot Toot hops up the stage, and him like joyfully boom, 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 going up the wooden steps. Like that's a very big boy doing that on some small wooden steps, and so it's very. And then as he walks onto the stage, and then that noise alone draws attention of half the tables in front of the stage, because that is not the peacocked bard that was just there. And so they kind of look up in expectant silence, like that hushes half of the crowd. And then Toot Toot looks back to where the bard disappeared to in the crowd and can't see him, and he's like, oh, just one quick song, if you do not mind. Hello, my name is Toot Toot to the Loxodon Bard, and I am here to tickle the ivories. That is a Loxodon joke. And then, like, half of the audience starts laughing, and he's like, oh, that played better than the Bard. So, here's a song that I have written about your fine city of Waterdeep. So if you'll excuse me. And then he just turns up stage a little bit. I have 0 time that I prepared for this, but oh, okay. Hold on a second. I want to do something real quick. Cool. Let's wing it. Let's wing it, baby. This is so silly. So Toot Toot walks up, and then he turns back around to I have a tie. He turns back around to the crowd who's kind of sitting there patiently, and he goes, my, at Waterdeep. I have nothing. Volotham did give us a mission. Oh yeah. And I don't know the song. So Waterdeep. You have such fine cities and it's cold. Waterdeep. The food and song never get old. Waterdeep. This is bad. I shouldn't have done this. But he sings a version of ABBA's Waterloo to Waterdeep. I owe y'all a better version of that. All right. So for my D and revision, it'll be me doing a better version of that. Okay. In the chat, Sarah says, nice name of the wind reference. Thank you. Smoke on the water. Ba 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 ba.
If it was toot toot, it'd be smoke on the water, toot 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 toot. Because that totally works through text. Yeah, you did great. Good job, Sarah. You're on fire. So I owe y'all a better Waterdeep song. I thought I could do it, but I don't know the song that well. So he sings that to great renown. He will roll performance. That is... Okay. I will roll Victor performance at disadvantage because I didn't know the song. Okay, well, I rolled a 17 and a 10, and my charisma's like +5, so that's 15. But Toot Toot rolled an 18 plus 7, so that 25 is a lot better. So his Waterdeep Waterloo just blows everyone away, and he was charismatic, and he was just like engaging the audience, and he was projecting because 3 strings was, and then like the audience was wowed, and they're like, okay, see, that's what a real bard's supposed to do. Not what Victor did, but that's what a real bard was supposed to do. And Tutu go, oh, well, thank you very much. And then like they applaud him, like, hey, and then some whistles, and he like, oh, well, thank you. This is what I love doing. So thank you, Waterdeep. Thank you, the Yawning Portal. And at this, it's like the audience interaction. Hey, that's where we are now. Yeah. And so then they cheer even more. And then, he sees in the back of the crowd the peacock bob again and just stop and staring up at him. And Toot Toot, like, oh no, looks up, and 3 Strings is not like sad and disappointed in any negative feelings. He's staring kind of in awe of Toot Toot, and then he gives him like a warm dip of the head and does the keep going hand roll, and Toot Toot well no 3 Strings, would you rather? And then 3 Strings in the back of the crowd goes, no, you stay up there, you go. And Toot Toot's like, well, all right. And then Victor will think of a better song to sing for you all. Let's see. Waterdeep, the Yawning Portal, yawning. Portal. Okay, hold on. Thank God for the internet. Because if I had to do this when if I had to do this show, like if Twitch was still alive, well, if Twitch was alive back in 1974 when Dungeons and Dragons first came out, and YouTube and the podcast, if I had to do all of this beautiful work and I didn't have the World Wide Web at my fingertips, this would be a completely different show. Well, obviously, but okay. So he goes, here's another song that I wrote for you, and it's called the Yawning Portal Song. This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. We rescued our friend Floon from the grips of the sewers and fought with a gazer. We kicked his ass and he had none. We met some rats and that was all. Nope, no, he doesn't know that. We fought some goblins and we went and killed them. And a human bandit. This is fiction, I'm just singing a song. Everything is fine and dandy in here. I don't know how to finish this. Shoot. Dang it, Victor, you beautiful boy.
shoot too far in the stars. A. But Rock the Purple is still alive, and he's enough, and he's still alive. And he shouts across the Yawning Portal, and Rock is leaning back, and the whole table has been listening this whole time, and he's really, ooh, more dice rolls. I love narrative. So, he rolled advantage, performance. He rolled a 4, and then a natural 20. So, a natural 20 plus 7 performance. He wows the audience with the Yawning Portal song. Like, the whole bottom floor of the Yawning Portal and some of the second floor are all, like, raptured and taken with this song. And then he finishes, and Rock the Purple is still alive, still alive, still alive. And then he bows. And then, like, a sonic boom wipes through the whole bottom floor of the Yawning Portal. And everyone, like, half of them stand up, and it's just giant applause. And Toot Toot goes, oh, I haven't sung in a while, so thank you very much. This feels amazing. What a wonderful place. Thank you, Dernan. Everyone, make sure to tip Dernan and Bonnie. As 3 Strings said, they are doing fine, hard work. And if you want, here's a little tip jar. And so he takes out one of his small pouches and puts it to the side of the stage, and then, like, 30 people just kind of rush up and clink some coin into it. And he goes, oh, wow, well, thank you. Thank you all very much. You all have a fantastic night. I'm going to resume. I might be back. Who knows? Talk to Dernan. Say you want Toot Toot back. And he exits the stage. And he goes back to his table, and everyone's like, wow, that was really cool. And through this high of performing and happiness and a job well done and a mission accomplished and all of the party still alive and well and a new residential area to explore tomorrow and inventory and things to buy and a lot of good stuff have happened, then if I think of anything else, then I'll put it in the D&M pre-show. But my boys end the night sitting at a table, drinking some more, reminiscing on the highlights of today. And that is where we're going to end tonight. So thank you very much, everyone. I am Victor Wavewa, and this is D&Me, a show where I play D&D with myself. You can find me at DnMeAdventures on all my D&Medias. That's D&Me, N like gnome. And then I am on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And you can find all that at my Linktree, which is linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures. Today's show will be up tomorrow, Thursday, October 7th. Next week's episode will be live on Twitch, Wednesday, October 13th. I stream Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I put up the video on demand on Thursday mornings. And I owe y'all some songs, which it'll take me all week to write, because, dang it. I have, okay, yeah, it's fine. Here at the end, I will roll to see which of my characters give tonight's outro. So, Tipsy's 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, Toot Toot is 4. 4! Great. Toot Toot. And with that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen and adventurers. I appreciate you watching our little show where we all perform. I say Victor gets a natural 20 also in performance plus 7. Let's give him a hand. Oh, look, he's He's blushing. Oh, you. Thank you very much for tuning in to our 10th episode of D&Me. Here's to another 10. And what a beautiful opportunity, because now I will play our new theme song again. So enjoy. It'll take 10 seconds of silence, and then the countdown from 1 to 20, count up rather, so I'm just going to talk. Okay, here we go. And Victor wanted a count up because he likes a 1 to 20 rather than a 20 down to 1, because 20's the best you can do in a D&D. So here we go. Thank you all very much, and have an amazing night.
Come, friend, now lend me an ear for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices, 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&D, featuring Victor and 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 Victor.